Wow, that is a lot of stuff to talk about, including but not limited to Star Wars. Just Star Wars alone is mind-blowingly immense in terms of the things I could talk about, of which I'm probably not going to hit 98% of it, so I gotta pick. I gotta pick and choose a couple things I want to talk about and make a video about that. I'm just one guy. Before we get into it, initially, I already had my thoughts about Alfred Molina's Doc Ock coming into the new Spider-Man movie. And I was like, let me wait until today because there's going to be a lot of announcements. And generally, I didn't hear anything new on that subject other than it ties into Multiverse of Madness, which I think we figured. So if you still want to hear my thoughts on the Doc Ock thing, I have them. Just let me know. But for now, I'm going to pick a couple of Star Wars things I want to talk about. And that would be Hayden Christensen coming back and an Ahsoka Tano spin-off show. And yeah, Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader. Not Anakin Skywalker, but Darth Vader. He's coming back in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. But I find it interesting in terms of the timeline and the fact that Hayden's coming back as Darth Vader. It sounds like he's gonna be in the suit, which I guess is kind of cool. It's not like we're gonna get the Anakin Skywalker good Anakin Force Ghost after he's been Darth Vader, because I feel like that's what some people want to see. Like, I'd like to see that. I would like to see Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost after he's been Darth Vader give his thoughts, just, you know, on the horrid things he's done of the past. And timing being everything, that would have been a good time for it. So it's not going to be that. I don't know if it's going to be a flashback, but I think generally if he's Darth Vader in this series, he's going to be in the suit. And maybe we'll see him without the helmet, in which case it'll be Hayden Christensen's face. But I don't know if that'll add to more continuity or the feeling of less continuity. Because on one hand, it's like, oh, hey, Darth Vader looks like Hayden Christensen. On the other hand, Darth Vader doesn't look like Sebastian Shaw, who played Anakin Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi. So I guess it's give and take. And I think that's where animation has the leg up on live action in a scenario like this. Because when Darth Vader gets his mask slashed in Rebels and he looks over, you're like, that does look and feel like Clone Wars era Anakin. He's just evil now. That's cool, it's awesome, it's the advantage of not having to rely on actors looking identical to maintain that feeling of continuity. But that said, Kathleen Kennedy said, yes, it'll be the, what did she say? The rematch of the century? Which implies that they fight, and I won't lie, I do like the concept that Obi-Wan and Vader, their first conflict after Revenge of the Sith was in A New Hope, but it's doing that Star Wars series thing, which is what Star Wars series do, which is to patch up the continuity holes that exist in the movies. Because when Luke tells Vader in Return of the Jedi, come with me, turn good, Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. But in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan was like, I will do what I must, which is kill you. So this could be that moment where Obi-Wan's like, all right, trying to kill him didn't help. That 15-minute fight didn't help things. Maybe I can try to get him to turn good. And when he tries to do that, maybe he senses like, Vader's too far gone for me. So although a conflict between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope wasn't, strictly speaking, planned, in terms of canon, it doesn't not make sense, so you can do it. I would like to see a more emotional story with Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know? I don't need the exciting space fights and the sci-fi adventure. I would like to see an old man who lost his entire religion, all of his friends were killed by his best friend. There was this stigma for a while where it was like people who did the prequels were like, oh, the prequels, I don't want to, nope, I'm done with the prequels. But Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen both coming back, it kind of shows how those movies and the characters are, they're good with the fans. Fans love them. And it feels like Star Wars love. If he's mostly in the suit, I feel like he could have gotten most anybody in the suit. Granted, in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Vader's shoulders are a bit more hunched down and hunched over than David Prowse's were, so you know, that Darth Vader physical stature, it matters. And Hayden Christensen was in the suit in Revenge of the Sith, so he does work for it. So that's cool. Also, an Ahsoka series spinoff, which really shows what The Mandalorian is. Like, The Mandalorian is this weird little hub of now known, previously unknown property of The Mandalorian. I mean, people know who Mandalorians are, but this character, the star of The Mandalorian, Mando himself, he's new. So it's about this season, with spoilers for this season, by the way, with Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano. It's like The Mandalorian's this little hub to possibly spin off other Star Wars TV shows from it, from previously existing characters that show up in it. And thus they are doing that with Ahsoka, which Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, I thought she was good. I know there are some people who are like, the voice doesn't It's not the voice they're used to, which I totally get. But for live action Ahsoka Tano, I thought Rosario Dawson I thought she was great. But again, this is fascinating because there are possibilities here. I see possibility, most of which I find intriguing. This is where you start seeing these threads linked together that all tie back to Mandalorian. Because Ahsoka's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. I don't know if she's looking for Thrawn and Ezra, if she believes Thrawn will bring her to Ezra, or she just wants to find Thrawn. Point is, I'm interested in that premise. I'm interested in the premise. Here it is on paper. Anakin Skywalker's former apprentice is looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yeah. I mean, I'm there for it. Regardless, this is that moment where you could have that conversation between Luke and Ahsoka, or that post-Return of the Jedi good Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker conversation about the sins of his past. Maybe he's just catching up with his former apprentice. Point is, you could have Force Ghost Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker come in and also have a conversation. There are all these possibilities that could happen. Just for the life of me, when I reflect on the sequel trilogy, I have no idea why Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost didn't intervene anywhere. Point is, I'm interested that Hayden Christensen's coming back as Darth Vader, and the Ahsoka series has a lot of potential that you could do with her and her connection with Anakin, with the Force. So those are my thoughts on, the couple things. The things where I was like, all right, gonna pick that to talk about, that to talk about. The rest slip through that enormous crack that all those things could possibly slip through, because it's a lot. There's a lot of Star Wars news that I'm not covering. I was like, okay, what to talk about? Oh my God. And that's just kind of how it goes. Time was, people were like, hey, Disney, maybe you should space out the Star Wars movies because, that wait in between is kind of what makes it special. Well, it's come to our attention here at Disney that people would like us to scale back the release of Star Wars movies and space it out because they like them feeling special. And we get that. We hear you. And that's why we have a Star Wars movie to announce, Rogue Squadron. The N64 game? The N64 what now? Nothing. And so that would be your Star Wars movie you're getting. Because we're ramping up a metric fuck ton of Star Wars series coming exclusively to Disney+. But the most important thing to us, and this is the most important thing, is to protect these characters, have them live on in the way George created them. Wouldn't you agree? What's so funny? Well, that shirt doesn't go with that suit. Well, your voice doesn't go with your beard. I see you've copied my beard. You owe me $1.75 for even saying that in a YouTube video. Disney me's a dick. But I'm interested in the Ahsoka show because I figured that was going to happen. Patty Jenkins directing a Star Wars movie. I know I didn't really touch on it too much, but that right there, that lines up to be something that could be really good. But Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader, that right there shows where Star Wars is and the love of the prequels and how they've been validated in the eyes of the fans. I suppose it's that trick of knowing, when it's Hayden Christensen in that suit face to face with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's just the knowledge that'll make it you'll feel that connection. You'll feel that Revenge of the Sith connection. I like that. All right, so Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and Ahsoka Tano getting her own spin-off series, and everything else they talked about. Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.